What is up, everybody? What is up? If you are watching the playback, fast forward to the 3 to 5 minute mark. You know the deal. All right. And also visit www.tryforeverlove.com. TRY4 everlove.com. Yeah, buddy. We are here. We are alive. We are in effect.
Aren't we now?
Now, how do I get out of this?
Oh, I was going to share it, but I'm already in it, so let's just share it again. Why not?
Come on in, come on in. Listen, we're going to be talking about communication, how to make your relationship last. We're going to be talking about communication tonight. So tag somebody, share it to somebody, let them know we are here every Wednesday at 8 p.m., okay? It ain't gonna be on long.
I know, it just went down my back.
Oh. You got to keep your focus.
I'm trying.
You got to keep your focus.
I'm trying.
This is television.
Yes, it is.
But I'm glad everybody's doing well. Hopefully y'all are doing great. We're excited to see you all. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Tag somebody, tag somebody, tag somebody.
Tag somebody, love somebody. Somebody.
Oh, there.
Baby.
All right, we're going to get started in a couple of minutes. We're going to give people time to roll on in, We got a great piece of information for you guys today. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m., we are here. We are live. Okay?
How's your day going? How's everybody's day? Tell me.
Type in the chat. Let us know how your day was. How your day has been today.
Why can't you see the comments? Thank you.
I don't know if it's. I think it'll pop up once we get some. Come on in, everybody. We're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. Okay. That's good. That's what I like to hear. Listen, communication is everything, people. Communication is everything. What's going on, Renee? Communication is everything. All right?
Communication is everything. Is it though?
It is. It is everything. Tag somebody, let them know we are here, we're live, talking about relationships.
You ready? What you waiting on? Ghostbusters! Who you gonna call?
What is going on right now?
Sorry, shut up. I mean, hush your mouth. Hush your mouth.
All right, listen, y'all. Tag somebody, let them know we're live right now. We're going to be talking about how to make your relationship last, okay? Or how to make your marriage last.
Okay.
We're talking about communication. All right? Big deal. Big deal. Big deal. Big deal. All right? Let's go ahead and get started. Listen, I'm Artis.
And I'm Zadoria.
And we are the Andersons. And we are happy to be here every single Wednesday, okay? We're happy every single Wednesday. We are live. Listen, follow us on all platforms at Try Forever Love, TRY4 Ever Love. And listen, these conversations that we have on Wednesdays, we just want to give you practical information to help you succeed relationally, right? Our company is called Forever Love. You can visit us at www.try4 everlove.com. The goal of Forever Love is to provide relationship education to any and everybody. We believe that this whole, our whole lives, we've been taught how to do everything except the most important thing in the world, which is relationships, right? So we want to learn how to master relationships, and we want to teach you how to master relationships. I'm going to throw out this little nugget before we really jump into it. A lot of people think relationships are hard, and I'm not going to knock that. But what I want to say is relationships or marriages, they're not hard. People are just difficult. See, the actual relationship is not difficult.
Well, you said that, I would have been like, I'm not difficult.
Well, we don't have a strenuous relationship.
Yeah.
Because we're not difficult people.
Yes.
Right? We have little quirks here and there, but it's nothing major, right? So the difficulty of your relationship is predicated on the difficulty of you as a person. Mm-hmm. How stubborn are you? How lazy are you? How ignorant are you? How disrespectful are you? How unloving are you? How unforgiving are you? How much do you hold a grudge? How much do you listen? How much do you not listen? Are you good at communicating? Are you not good at communicating? Like, all of these different factors play a major role in the success of your relationship or your marriage. Mm-hmm. And if you're single, this is even more important for you to have it, because you want to go into your relationships or your marriage in the future with all of these things mastered already. The problem with our community is we want to put all of our time and attention into everything that's not valuable.
Right.
Hello!
Hello.
People don't want to invest in their relationships. People don't want to invest in their marriages. People think they know what they're doing, and they don't. People think they know how to be successful at relationships, and they don't. People think they are, and the thing is, humans are so prideful. Let me tell you a secret. The average person in a relationship or a marriage right now does not know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They're failing their way through it. And you are a byproduct of that pain coming from that failure. And we have to, I'm getting too deep. This is supposed to be practical information. But remember this one thing. When you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage, this is free game. This ain't even part of the information tonight. When you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage, you have to ask yourself, what am I bad at? Whatever comes to mind when you ask yourself that question, that's what's going to pop up in your relationship. That's what's going to erode or damage or destroy your relationship or your marriage. What am I bad at? If you don't know what you're bad at, we got a whole different conversation to have, which means you're unaware of yourself, which means you are dangerous to be with. Because if you don't know yourself, you can't let your partner know about you to warn them so that they can make a choice whether or not they want to do life with you. But all in all that was just free. I gave y'all way too much. Now, Make It Last Forever, Part 2. Okay? Make It Last Forever, Part 2. You need communication. Type that in the chat. You need communication. Okay? Any relationship and every marriage needs communication. Now, that's a common statement, right? We talk about communication. It's like everybody talks about communication. It's like, you gotta have communication. What I want to do is I want to show you, right? When it comes to communication, communication is a component to it, but comprehension is the other component. Right? But the middle component to it is listening. So look at communication like a sandwich, right? What up, Darius? What's up, family?
Hey.
Now, watch this, right? Every relationship needs communication. Communication plus listening should equal comprehension. What's the key word? Should, right? But a lot of times the reason why we don't comprehend communication or in our conversations is because we're not really listening. Now, when we talk about listening is an actual skill. It's something you have to learn or be taught how to do, and you have to practice it, and you have to then master it. Because comprehension of any conversation is a byproduct of your listening skills. When you listen to something, I'm giving you all sorts of free stuff tonight. None of this is in my notes. When you learn how to listen, you will learn how to master communication. Communication is not about you talking. Communication is about you listening. You should be competing with each other on being quiet. You should be fighting each other to say, no, you first. No, you go ahead. I want to listen. No, you. You should be fighting to listen, not fighting to be heard. Mm-hmm. You should be fighting to listen. Yeah. Now, what is communication? Let's get into some definitions. Communication is the sharing or exchanging of ideas. Now, all communication is a byproduct of an idea. Whether that idea is what you hate, what you love, what you want, what you desire, what you miss, or how your day was. All of it is based around ideas. Your idea about your day, your idea about your job, your idea about your house, your idea about your kids, your thoughts about any and everything, right? So it's a share of ideas. It's a transfer of thoughts, okay? But here is the other key. Communication is a transfer of information from one place to another. So ultimately, communication has to travel, right? And sometimes in the traveling process of communication, the understanding gets lost, the point gets lost, and the message gets lost, okay? Now, when we talk about communication, it's a means to an end. So it's a tool. Like, you know how the tool you use to cut your grass is a lawnmower. The tool you use to chop up food is a knife. So all of it is just a tool, right? So my wife is thinking of a master plan right now. I can see it. She got some stuff for you. She got some stuff for you. Now watch this. Or she just zoned out. So the thing is, right, communication is a transfer of information. Okay. Now I want to highlight this quote by Dr. Miles Monroe. Okay, Dr. Miles Monroe. Okay. Now, when it comes to anything with purpose, right? Okay. Yeah, just look down it. Right. When it comes to purpose, right? He says, where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable, which means if you don't know the purpose of communication, you're going to abuse it. Now, how do we abuse communication? Calling people out their name, being disrespectful, being rude, all the above. We got a question. All right. What if one person in the relationship refuses to communicate? Great question. If a person refuses to communicate, here's what I would say. Before we get on the other person not communicating, I would ask the question, what happened to cause them not to want to communicate? Because I always get stuck when I try to say this. People don't not communicate.
People do not communicate.
People do not.
No.
People don't refuse to communicate for no reason. That's the best way to put it, right? Because the not don't work.
Yeah, because right. It's do not or don't.
Yeah. People don't not communicate. See, it still sounds weird.
But you're saying not. Why? You don't need to say not.
But
say,
if I say people don't communicate
not.
for a reason. Oh, so people don't communicate for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So people don't communicate for a reason. So something happened.
People choose not to.
People choose. There you go. People choose not to communicate for a reason. Nobody ever just not refuses to communicate. No, people don't just not. We are struggling with this sentence phrases with not, no, don't. All right. So the question is, what happens if a person refuses to communicate? So my answer is this: people don't refuse to communicate without a reason. Somewhere along the line, they felt disrespected. They felt mishandled. They felt like they were being talked to rude, talked to like a child. Something happened, right? Yeah. They felt afraid. They felt dismissed. They felt like, something happened. And in order to get someone to actually communicate, we first have to figure out, okay, why aren't you communicating? We have to literally ask that question. Why aren't you communicating with me? And tell them to be honest. Now, if they are honest and then you snap on them, well, guess what? Now you know one of the reasons why they don't communicate. Because when they try to communicate, it's always an argument, a fight, or whatever the case may be. So
or reaction.
Like,
yeah. I think that's the biggest thing too. A lot of people, like, if they try to communicate something in a certain way, and then the reaction. I think we talked about this.
A reaction.
The reaction, like they may have tried to do it before, and then the person that they're trying to communicate with, reacted in a way that traumatized them, or to the point where they're like, "Bruh, I was just trying to communicate this, but if you're gonna act like this, there's no need of me talking to you." So
right.
it's that. So
oftentimes, but see, to your point, oftentimes someone's reaction. All right, if I try to communicate with you, right? Was that Nat? Mm-hmm. If I try to communicate with you, and your reaction to my communication is confrontational, aggressive, rude, dismissive. Every time that happens, I'm going to withdraw. Every time a little bit more from wanting to communicate with you.
Yeah, and also, if you think about it, somebody that's trying to communicate, they're being vulnerable to you at that moment. So if you think about it, like if for instance, if I'm saying, hey, I want to communicate and tell you X, Y, and Z, especially if they're not communicators, that's one thing. Because the reason why some people they refuse or they don't want to do it is because if they tried to and it was a thing, like it was hard for them to do it in the first place, then now it's like, nah, I'm just not going to do it no more because it's just, you not listening for real. It's not, what's the point of me even coming to you or having a conversation with it if it's always going to turn into this, or I'm not being heard, or I'm saying this but you're trying to twist my words, and like you're not comprehending on my end, and all those things. So it's so many nuances that can be in that can make people not want to refuse to even say anything, or communication they don't feel like it's necessary. Like they feel like in their mind, like you could read my mind, like me good enough to know, like that's it.
Oh,
like, why do I have to talk? Because you could read my mind, but of course that's not a good thing.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
I understand.
No.
I do understand.
We need to talk about this.
But I do understand.
Because that's a good point.
Women be doing that. Well, I be doing that. But women sometimes, and not all of us, but that just
you cannot.
You should know.
Yeah.
You know me long enough to know.
But we get that from movies and Disney and television.
Yes. So it should work in real life.
In a movie, there's an action and there's a cut, which means the screen or the script is written.
Well, God, so why can't you know me?
Listen.
Let's
spirit, just keep this practical.
You're prophetic.
Let's keep this let's just keep this.
Saying.
Let's keep this simple. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do not assume or expect anybody to read your mind or read your body language.
I mean, if I go like this, you should know what I'm talking about.
If you go like that, you might just be moving because you are restless. I'm not going to assume anything because here's the thing.
Because I'm restless.
No, but here's the thing.
You just answered it.
Right. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. What do we always say in disagreements? Not us, but when people get in disagreements, what do they always say? Stop assuming.
Yeah.
Stop assuming, right? But now you want us to assume without communication. We can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
So we need a rule of thumb. You don't assume, you communicate, right? Yes, you should know your partner, Joel. Yes, you should know your partner. But you should not assume you know what your partner is thinking, feeling in the moment.
Yeah, because we
It
change.
should always be communicated.
Yeah, because we change. Because many times we've had conversations that, you know, we be like, oh, I thought you liked that. No, I don't like that no more. Oh, I thought that you know, want to do it that way. Nah, I don't do that.
But you know why though?
But
Because
people change. Feelings change. In the moment, you might want it a certain way at a certain time, or you.
right. But the thing is, if we leave things up for assumption, and then we're wrong,
Yeah.
now you got a problem because I was wrong with the assumption.
Right.
So never assume.
Assumptions make it.
Always communicate.
Make it.
Never assume.
You, not me.
Always communicate. Never assume. Always communicate. Communicate how you feel. Communicate what you're thinking. Communicate what you need. Communicate what you want. Communicate your desire. Stop wanting because here's why people do it. We assume that if you don't know me well enough for me not to communicate and you still know what I want or need, that you don't really love me or care about me.
Say it again.
All right. People will take the idea that if you don't know what I want or need or desire without me communicating it, then you don't really love me or care about me. That's what people are internally thinking.
Okay.
You should know me well enough, and if you don't love me, you don't care about me. So what people do is they try to take, you should know what I want. You should have known what I like. You should have known. No, you should have communicated. But what people do is, because you didn't know or assume correctly, that you don't really care about me. And that's not fair to anybody.
True.
That's not right. It's lazy. Lazy communication leads to lazy relationships.
Life.
I always tell people, over-communicate. Over-communicate. So that you fall right at the balance, right at the threshold.
So you can get on their nerves.
It's not really getting on their nerves. It's just the idea of understanding that.
So, sorry, go ahead.
So let's get into some of these key points, right?
All right.
Where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. So what is the purpose of communication? Write this down, y'all. Type this in the chat. The purpose of communication is connection and understanding. Write that in the chat. Type that in the chat for me. The purpose of communication is connection and understanding. There is no connection without communication. And there is no understanding without communication. All right? So let me get into my first point. Now, I want to get into this point down here, right? My first point for this evening. Then my wife is going to give her point. Then I'm going to give another point. And then we're done. That's how we do. Now, I want to highlight this point because we talked about this a few weeks ago. Go back to our YouTube, Forever Love. Go to our YouTube, Forever Love, and watch this. We talked about emotional stability, right? Point number 1. You cannot have effective communication without emotional stability. What is emotional stability? It is the ability to remain calm, under control, respectful, loving. It's the ability to remain in a posture to listen even when something is difficult to hear. Emotional stability makes communication effective because your feelings and your emotions isn't interrupting the flow of the conversation. If the conversation keeps getting interrupted by your thoughts or your feelings or your emotions or your irrationality or your attitude, then your conversation is going to be more taxing, more tiring than it needs to be. Communication needs emotional stability. You can't get offended by everything you hear. You can't hate or dislike every comment that your partner is saying. You have to learn how to hear difficult things. You have to learn how to listen to difficult things because some conversations are hard conversations. But without emotional stability, you can't have an effective conversation because your feelings and your emotions are going to disrupt the conversation flow. And that becomes problematic. All right. Point number 1. You need emotional stability.
Point number 2.
Point number 2.
Oh, well, we talked about this, but without comprehension, your communication was a waste of time.
Whoa, Nelly. Without comprehension, your conversation was a waste of time. Yeah, Lord.
Yeah. But yeah, so just thinking about that in general, you talk about comprehension. Comprehension is just the key, like we were saying earlier, just understanding what does it look like. When you're in a conversation with someone, you should be there to be listening and comprehending what they're saying. I think we talked about this way past earlier lives that, understanding one tactic or one way to actually show that you are comprehending is repeating back to the conversation or what you heard or thought you heard to the person that you're communicating with, because that's showing them that you're listening and that whatever you comprehended, it may or may not be what they have tried to address. And then if it's not what they're trying to address to you, then it gives them the opportunity to try to find a different way so that you can comprehend the way that they needed to be comprehended. So effective communication comes with the comprehension of both parties listening, taking heed to it, understanding and listening, and now being able to take that word that you're understanding or what you're listening to and being able to give it back in a synopsis of whatever your partner may have said, or the person that you're communicating with is actually really listening to how you voice whatever was communicated outward.
Yep. Yeah, comprehension is everything, like my wife said. If I don't understand what you just said to me, how can I truly correct something? How can I truly fix something? How can I truly change something? Right? So comprehension is the ultimate goal of all communication. Right? Can I comprehend? You getting restless? Can I comprehend? Oh, I know what you did. All right, listen. I was going to say something about listening. Earlier I said communication plus listening equals comprehension. If you don't master how to listen, you won't ever really learn how to master comprehending the conversation. And I'm going to get to my third point to kind of tie it all in. Point number 3, learn how to communicate how you feel. Now, this is a skill. Don't tell people how you feel. Communicate how you feel. There's a difference. Don't just tell people you're mad. Communicate why you are mad. What led up to you being mad? What about the dynamics caused you to be mad?
I need an example on that, because I be all in my feelings and stuff, and
a lot of people do.
When you're in your feelings in the moment, look, bruh, you just can't be just telling you like, I'm mad because yada yada yada. No, I'm mad. Period.
Yeah, that's true. And after you get over those emotions, you got to actually break it down.
Whatever.
Okay? Because going back to the comprehension, if I don't understand how the situation right there. My wife got a booger. If so, getting back to this point number 3, right? Just to tie it all in. A lot of conversations happen because they feel some type of way. That's what a lot of our conversations are centered around, right? I'm upset, I'm disappointed, I'm frustrated, I don't trust you, I don't this, I want that, I miss that, etc., right? Here's the reality, right? This is the most important thing. Listen up, listen up. If you are having a conversation, yes, you want to have a resolution. Yes, you want to have answers, you want to have conclusions, all of that. But here's the thing. part of why you're having the conversation is so that the other person can know how you feel.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the bills or the budget, if you're talking about, the kids that got to go to school, that's just general conversation. But most of our conversations in relationships, especially marriage, is because we're upset, mad, frustrated, disappointed, hurt, bitter, all the above. And if we don't learn how to communicate how we feel to our spouse or our significant other, then we're not going to really have an effective conversation. So, my wife wants an example. Let me give an example. All right? Name something you don't like.
What do you mean, like food?
No. Something you don't like in relationship.
In relationship?
Name something you don't like that I do.
Let's see here.
Don't be trying to count the ways. Don't do that. It ain't that much stuff.
Would you ignore me?
Okay, I don't.
Okay,
do I really ignore you?
When you be multitasking.
All right, I'm with you. Got you. Yep, I do that. So.
When I'm talking to you.
Yes, she's right about that.
All the time.
All the time. So.
Like you're doing right now.
How am I? No, we're doing a live right now.
Exactly, but you're still multitasking.
That doesn't count.
It does count.
But we're talking to the people.
It doesn't matter.
All right, we're talking.
You're always talking to the people.
I know. So watch this. So. My wife doesn't like when I multitask. Let's just say it really makes her upset or makes her mad. Okay? Like that face right there. She can come to me and communicate, right? And I can listen, because communication plus listening equals what? Comprehension. All right. It's not enough for her to say, I don't like when you multitask. That's a good start.
Or put the phone down. That's not enough either.
That's not enough either. Put the phone down. That's not enough. That's a good start. It's a good start. Okay? It's a good start. Appreciate it, Kobe. Oh, definitely, Joel. Definitely. It's a good start. But here's what I mean by learning how to communicate how you actually feel. It's important for her to say something like, when you are on the phone.
When you are on the phone.
And talking to me.
And talking to me.
Which is what you call multitasking.
Which is what you call multitasking.
It makes me feel.
It makes me feel.
Like I'm not important.
Like I'm not important.
You see, now when I hear that, because I'm listening.
You listening?
It makes me say, okay, my wife is hurt when I do this.
Yes.
My wife is disappointed when I do this. And so now she has effectively explained to me not just the problem, but how the issue makes her feel. Mm-hmm. She didn't just say, you made me mad. I hate it when you try to multitask. You make me mad. Like, she's not just telling me her frustration. She's actually communicating the message, the issue, her problem with it, and how it made her feel. Now, the last part of it is she should say something like, I would like it if you did not do that. She has to give me something that lets me know what to do that will make her okay or happy or whatever the case may be. Of course, I have the right to say no, yes, or maybe. We always have that right. Look at, she don't like that part. But the point is, the conversation is all about actually fully communicating in detail the concerns, the problems, and the issues, right? We got another question. Let me see. Now, what if you've effectively communicated and your partner still continues the same behavior that led to the conversation in the first place? All right? I'm going to answer this two ways. The first way I'm going to answer this is, we might think we effectively communicated it, but we might not have. So that's always a possibility. There's always a possibility that we think we communicated something effectively, but we actually didn't. All right? Now, let me get to the second answer. So that was the first answer. The second answer, all right? If your partner continues the same behavior after you've effectively communicated the issue or the concern, there's a few things you need to consider. Number one, they heard you out, they listened, and they decided that they didn't want to do whatever it is you wanted them to do. Or number two, they heard you out, they considered it, and they're still thinking about making the change. But while they're still thinking about making the change, they're doing the same behavior that they want. Or three, this person has decided to do whatever they want regardless of how it makes you feel. And they have that right because they're an adult and they're grown. Okay? So that's what I would say. Those would be my three responses to that question. Because oftentimes that is a problematic issue. You're communicating something, you made known what you need or desire, and the person decides not to make the change or not to do certain things. But we got to remember, right? We're in relationships with adults. We tell our kids what to do, but we can't tell our grown adults what to do, our grown spouses, right? And that's always the challenge. And that's why when you get married or in a relationship, it's important that we, marry somebody that has, especially, I'll say it this way. It's important to date someone who can project the willingness to listen and make certain changes and adjustments so that the relationship can be conducive for two people. I was talking to one of my clients, and I give you, this is a funny example, right? She was saying how she got upset at her husband, right? Because she came home from work and the bed wasn't made. Okay? Now.
What did you learn from this?
Oh, I didn't learn anything. But I taught her something. I'm about to explain it. Now, this is what I told her. I said, listen, your husband is at home and you feel like, he slept in for the day and he didn't make up the bed and it wasn't made when you got home. I said, but here is the issue. When you went home and fussed him out for the bed not being made, I asked her this, were you talking to your child or your husband? And she started smiling. And I said, you know where I'm going with this? And she said, Now, some people just aren't aware of these dynamics. You cannot forget that you're not married to your child. You're married to a grown man or a grown woman.
Even if they act like a child?
It doesn't matter how they act. What matters is that they have the adult ability to decide what they will and won't do. And the problem is with most people in relationships, we want people to do what we want them to do. And that's the downfall to most relationships. When you don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to fuss and complain and make life a living hell until you do what I want, because we selfishly want things done the way we want, how we want, and when we want.
Yeah.
So what I explained to this client, I said, you came home, fussed out your husband who's grown, that he didn't make the bed? Like, let's really think about this. Now, this is what I told her. I said, here's what you must do. In order to fix your issue with the bed not being made, because there's nothing wrong with wanting to come home to your bed being made. That's your preference.
Thank you.
But you have to have a conversation about it.
Yes.
So I told her, I said, listen.
I understand.
Have a conversation with your husband tonight.
Okay.
Right?
Tonight.
Do I make the bed when you go? Is the bed made when you go? Sometimes it's not. I don't be knowing. So,
no.
right, not the way you like it.
Yes. But
so
you've gotten better over the years.
Yeah, I be trying to do it the way you do it now.
Yeah.
Right? But here's the thing. I told her, I said, here's what you need to do. Go home, have a conversation with your husband, have some dinner, get some nice food and just talk, right? And here's what you need to do. Ask him, is it possible? Now, I'm about to get back to this point about communicating how you feel. Mm-hmm. Remember, that was a part of the whole problem.
Yeah.
I said, communicate how him not making the bed up makes you feel. Mm-hmm. So when you communicate with them, say, listen, I would desire, and my life would be that, that the bed is made so that when I come home, I have that good warm feeling that I love. So that when I get in my bed and it's all snuggly, it's like, ooh, I came home to a bed made up. And it's just it's a euphoric thing for you. So communicate that. So when your husband hears you communicate this, what he should hear is, my wife really, really values a made bed. And for the sake of her happiness, I'm willing to do this. That's what should happen communication-wise. And that's how you have effective conversations that yield results that are beneficial to a person, even if it's not something they want. They still desire to do it for you because the approach was good, the tone was right, and the conversation was effective. Okay? All right. We got to get out of here, y'all. I got to get my hair done. We got to get ready to go out of town this weekend, so we're going to get some stuff done. But listen. Go to our website, www.tryforeverlove.com. TRY4everlove.com. Sign up for sign up for a session, okay? Sign up for a consultation. Listen, we are here to help you. We got your back. All of your relationship needs. Also, if you want to get a question asked or you need some advice on the situation in your relationship or your marriage or your singlehood, call the hotline. It is totally anonymous. The Forever Love hotline number is 1-888-420-0471. Call us, get your questions answered. We got your back. Or you can text us on the hotline if you don't want to call. Text us and we can get you straight, fully anonymous. We appreciate you all. Share, like, comment. Follow us on all social media platforms. TRY4 Everlove on Instagram, Facebook. Go on our YouTube, TikTok. Forever Love, TikTok, Try Forever Love. Our YouTube, though, is Forever Love. Love y'all. We're artists. Enzadoria.
And we are the Andersons.
We are out.
We're out.
Bye.